Thanks for the likes, whoever is sending those likes. Appreciate it. Oh, Lordy. Okay. Okay. Hello. We are getting sorted and set up here. Okay, I think I've done it. By George, he's done it. Oh, I gotta get my foot out from underneath this thing. Oh, there we go. Okay, that's good. Let's do this. Let's go like, I think if I lower this a little bit. Nope, too much. There we go. Hello, Magical Femme. What's on the agenda tonight? I don't have anything specific on the agenda. Nothing specifically right now. But we're going to probably do readings. We're probably going to do all that good stuff. So we're just going to have you guys come on in. How are my battery lives? Okay, we'll see how this battery life goes on this thing. I'm trying to start a little bit earlier today because of the I have to cook dinner still later tonight, so I want to start a little bit earlier than I normally would. I only got a little bit earlier, not a lot of bit earlier, so there's that. But you know, it is what it is. Hello, Christy. Do I lead classes? I do. Yes, I do teach classes through our school, Oakbridge, the Oakbridge Institute. Natasha says, I think your name has come up. It's possible. Okay, good job, Katrina. Good job sitting in the power. A very important question. What are some of your favorite podcasts? I've gotten into podcasts. One of my favorite podcasts is Unobscured season, I think it's 2, where they talk about spiritualism. That was a really good podcast. That's a good one. Hi, Jess. I'm seeing you on Wednesday, aren't I? Aren't I seeing you Wednesday for astrology reading? What is the instruction? Yeah, I've been on in other mediums' lives and you def have come up. Yeah, that would make sense. I definitely, I would make sense. I founded the Oakbridge Institute, which is an online school for mediumship development, psychic development, healing, all those kinds of things. I'm the author of the book Spirit Speaks. So yes, I've been doing this work for like over 20 years, and I've taught a lot of the people that are on TikTok. Well, the good ones anyway. So yeah. Yes, it's the Oakbridge Institute. Hey, Monet. Speaking of the good mediums, hey, Monet. My brain immediately went to witchcraft and wizardry. Yes, and Destiny, another good medium. Nicole, the good ones. Jade, I got your book, reading it now. Oh, good. I hope you like it. The good and ethical ones. Yeah, we try to be. We try to be. So yeah, we're going to be doing some things today. Don't know what, but you know how it is with me. I always have to have my tea first. So for now, we're just kind of chatting. So how I got into mediumship was I stumbled into a mediumship demonstration after looking for a place to buy crystals. And when that mediumship demonstration, it was a British medium. He said, you're a medium, one day you're a medium, you need to start developing, and one day you'll be doing what I'm doing. And so I went to my first class, and in my first class, I got the name of the spirit, how they died, when they died, the relationship, dates, all kinds of really great information. And then I went back the next time and I got nothing. I went back the next time, I got nothing. I went back next time, I got nothing. And so that started my journey into trying to figure out how the heck did I do it the first time? And 20 years later, I know how I did it the first time and why it stopped working after that. So there is that. So that's how I got into mediumship. And then I spent the last 20 years developing it. Determination or hard-headed? Probably both. Determined, stubborn, that sort of thing, running into it. No, the thing that blocked me from it was expectation. So in mediumship, the sources of tension are desire, distraction, and expectation. So if you are, oh my gosh, this just made me think of something that I should be promoting. I am doing a course at the Shift Network on this exact topic of desire, distraction, and expectation. If any of you who do mediumship, who have worked with me before, who are mediums that I have developed, wish to be an affiliate for that course, you should email me at mediummichaelmayo@gmail.com. Because I can make you an affiliate and you will earn a commission on anyone who signs up through your link. So if you are interested in doing that, I have 15 spots available of people that I can do that with. So I just want to throw that out there for you in case I've worked with you, you've developed, and you want to promote that course and make a little money while you're doing it. Send me an email because I'm going to be teaching that class and I need to send them that pretty quickly. So if you're interested in that, you can do that. You don't have to be far in development, but you have to have an audience that you can, at least share it to or promote it with. Because obviously, if you want to earn a little something off my class, you can do that. Yes, talk about meant to be, indeed. Yeah, it was definitely my spirit guide that came through in the message. And I think that he was trying to promote that. But anyway, the whole course is on desire, distraction, and expectation. If you are interested in developing that, you can also take that course at the Shift Network. If you want a 7-week course that's highly focused on understanding your blocks, learning how to surrender in your mediumship, and specifically working with desire, distraction, and expectation, you can also just sign up for that course as well. But yeah, I think I need to do that affiliate link thing pretty quickly. So, and you don't even have to have a big following. If you just make a video and promote it and people buy through your link, there you go. That's how that would work. So anyway, if you want to make some money and you want to help promote my course, you can do that. But just email me, mediummichaelmayo@gmail.com. That's through the Shift Network, in case anyone knows what the Shift Network is. So that's fun. Anyway, so as I was talking about desire, distraction, expectation, these are the sources of tension. And when we have desire, distraction, expectation, it blocks you from being able to get more information. And so in that very first reading that I did, I had expectation because I started comparing it to the past. I started comparing what I was doing to the past, and that blocked me, essentially. Hey, Angie. I'm seeing you, Angie, on Tuesday tomorrow, right? Is that right? I'm pretty sure I'm seeing you tomorrow to do to do a little assessment session. Yay! Awesome. I'm excited. Tomorrow's a back-to-back day. I think I work for like 4 hours straight mentoring sessions, which is, I usually don't like to do more than 3 in a row. So, but tomorrow's back-to-back. And then what else is tomorrow? I have seance tomorrow, which we use this very table to do it. So we'll be doing seance. Obviously, you guys won't be there, unfortunately, but we do seance on that day. So that's pretty fun. By the way, you guys can still join the Psychism course if you are interested in it. There's still time to join. We usually have about a week, most 2 weeks after the start of the course, since the first couple classes are exercises you do kind of independently, but there's still time to sign up. So if you missed it and you want to, you can absolutely still join in the psychism course. So that you can do at oakbridgeinstitute.org. Yeah, you'll be there in spirit. That's right, Dana. What is seance exactly? Seance is a style of sitting for the spirit world where you're hoping to get physical mediumship, and physical mediumship is spirit being able to interact with the space. Well, the type of seance we're doing is called a table seance. So we use the table and we put our hands around the table very, very lightly, and then we invite the spirit world to utilize the table to begin to tap it, move it, knock on it, slide it around the room, in hopes that we get communication via the table so that the loved ones or guides can speak to us through the table. And then that can actually lead to other forms of mediumship. That can lead to other forms of physical phenomena, spirit lights, ectoplasm, table moving on its own, levitation, trumpet phenomena. There's all kinds of things that can start to develop out of table seance. Do you go deeper with mediumship, such as this is going on in your life, the suggestion is XYZ? So that's hard to answer. So if I'm doing mediumship, it's whatever the spirit person wants to talk about. So it's not necessarily me going deeper or me wanting to direct the communication in any way. It's what the spirit wants to talk about. So if the spirit wants to go into things going on in that person's life, and give suggestions, that would be the spirit that would say that. But every spirit's going to be different, and every single one's going to have sort of a different thing that they want to cover or talk about. So I can't say that I necessarily go deeper with mediumship because I don't know what they're going to talk about and I don't know what they're going to say. Are there times where they do that? Absolutely. What was the one you talked about in your book? I watched it on YouTube and it was awesome. What was the one you talked about in your book? Are you referring to Stuart Alexander's talk at the Spiritualist Church? Is that the one you're talking about, Allison? You just do all kinds of psychic and mediumistic modalities. So cool and interesting. Yeah, there's so many things to do in the realm of mediumship and psychic awareness, and it's so varied, right? So like in the category of mediumship, you have evidential mediumship, or aka mental mediumship is another way to call it, which is what I demonstrate often on here. You have trance mediumship, which I also do. And then just within the umbrella of trance, there's trance philosophy, which is talking about life and spiritual things and guidance in that way. There's trance clairvoyance, which is the spirit guide giving the messages, kind of how I would do in a demonstration, but the spirit guide's the one doing it. So I'm in trance and then they speak. There's trance communication, where your loved one speaks directly to you. That's something that I'm developing. I haven't done that fully yet. I have done it a couple times, but not fully. So think of like Patrick Swayze and Whoopi Goldberg in the movie Ghost, where he jumps into her body. Not that they're jumping into your body, but I'm just saying that is what we're talking about, where you speak directly to your loved one. There's trance art, which I actually have only done once. And then there's trance automatic writing, not like inspired writing, which is what most people do when they say automatic writing. Automatic writing means you don't even know it's being written, and then you have to read it later, and that's how you know what it is. I don't do that either, but I would love to do that. So that's just in trance alone, right? And then you have physical mediumship, which is physical phenomena that is able to occur, right? And that can be all kinds of things. And I've seen amazing phenomena with the physical phenomena. And then what's the other one? The other one is healing. I do healing as well, energy healing. Both trance healing and energy healing is something that I do also. And then that's just mediumship, right? And healing. Then we talk about psychism, and I've done remote viewing. I've done normal psychic readings. I've used cards. Last week I did several things, tea leaf reading, scrying with a candle and also a crystal ball. I used the tarot cards. There's all kinds of things. Then I do astrology. So this is my thing that I've spent 20 years sort of exploring, understanding, and getting to understand. And so yeah, this is my whole wheelhouse. If there's one thing that I know about, it's these kinds of topics. Makes sense. Didn't know it was a different kind of practice outside of evidential I can do. It's a part of it. It's the same. It's a part of the same thing. What you want to make sure is that the spirit's bringing you what they want to say. Don't let yourself go into the psychic awareness accidentally and go get information because you want to give something else. Sydney, will me and Matt ever talk again? So I don't actually do readings that way, Sydney. I call people up and have them go on the live, because really, without me being able to give you evidence to validate that I'm connecting accurately to you, I could make up anything, and that's what most people do on TikTok anyway. They just tell you whatever comes to their mind. All the info about courses can be found at oakbridgeinstitute.org. That is very true. Natasha, I find sitters asking for advice sometimes, or validation, acknowledgement of something. That is very, very common. And actually, if they want that, usually the spirit world will give that to them without them ever having to ask for it. Yes, so many different cool things. When I do trance writing, it's crazy because I can spell. Haha, I can't normally. Oh, that's pretty cool. Where did you get that amazing shirt? It was gifted to me, and then I cut it and made it slutty. Yeah, I'm never bored. That is actually a very true thing about me, Jade. I'm literally never bored. And I'll have people call me up and friends of mine being like, I'm so bored. And I'm like, I don't even know what that is. Like, the amount of times I've been bored in my life, I mean, I can count probably like on one hand. Like, I don't ever get bored. And I just think I'm weird like that. But I don't know. I guess there's always something to do, or maybe I just enjoy staring at the ceiling and just zoning out, or there's always just something that I can be thinking about or not thinking about. Like, I can kind of enjoy whatever the hell I'm doing kind of at all times. So I don't know. I don't ever get bored. Even if I'm like, and I know you're referring more to like the fact that I do all these different things. I don't necessarily do them all the time, but like, I just don't get bored. Regarding healing, which have you found more effective? I feel like they're both effective. I feel like the energy healing is easier to control and make outcomes occur. So I would probably say that one, but that's because also I would need to go deeper into the trance states to probably have a stronger effect of the trance healing and get the same kinds of results that I get with my energy healing. So if I could let go even more, let the guide come in even more, I'm sure that more could happen. But I've definitely seen great results with the trance healing. But I personally would say the the energy healing is so much more like immediate, and like I can get the results very quickly, and like I have more control in that. So I would say that for me. I'm going to save up and take your amazing course next year. Yes, Claudette, please do. Right, I have no idea what that is, since like I was young. I don't know what that's referring to right at this exact moment, because I get confused when I'm reading all the comments. Do you play around all the time in the spiritual world? Not all the time. But I definitely, all my friends are like mediums and intuitives and sensitives. And so I definitely do it weekly. And when we all get together, like when Dana has come to visit, we'll play psychic games. Myself and Miranda will play psychic games all the time, mediumship games. Me and Megan, we'll sit for spirit together, do different psychic games. So yeah, I mean, we definitely do cool, fun things like that. Do you connect your channel when you're not with a sitter, like spirit just hanging out? Yeah, during my sitting in the power time periods, that is a time that I can do that. When I sit for trance, the spirit world utilizes my body and can speak. Right now, they can get pretty much. This is when I'm going into deep trance. So my normal trance that I can already do, where my guide comes through and speaks, that's more of like a medium level of trance. They're developing deep trance with me to where I go to sleep. And when I go to sleep, then they speak for me, they breathe for me, they talk for me, and they can actually answer sometimes. Sometimes they don't do it all the time. Sometimes they can actually answer questions that nobody's asked verbally, but in their mind, and the answer comes immediately out. But they can only get like a sentence out before I wake up. So they haven't fully gotten a hold of my consciousness to keep me under, so that when they start speaking, obviously a voice is now coming out of you unbeknownst to you, and it wakes you up. So that's like where I'm at with my deeper trance development. This is what mediumship friends do. That is exactly correct. That is what we do. Am I going to run my healing course soon? Yes, actually. I'm planning on I'm probably planning on doing that in the next little bit. So probably in a month, but I'll probably start promoting it pretty soon. Every single person that took the healing course learned the healing modality. There wasn't anyone who wasn't able to do healing when they learned the modality. So I strongly know that this is teachable, and it was a great class. People loved it. So yes, I'm going to be doing that very soon, actually. What are your loved ones doing over there? I hope everything they want to do. Yeah, I mean, there's so many options from what I understand. They can chill. They can enjoy like a heavenly-like space. They can go to halls of learning and learn things. I do think that the experience of being in the spirit world is likely like being here, but just in a different space. So for anyone who has ever done like out of body experience, like if you've ever been out of body, it's real. It's more real than real. And you are very much aware of your space and your surroundings and all of that sort of thing. So yeah, you really feel like it actually feels more real than this. So I do think that the spirit world is that experience. I think that's what it's like for them. And then you hear people talk about like near-death experiences. They talk about the very real reality that you're in. Hello, Reagan. Let's see. Wild. I mean, it's probably safer to not get lost. Hello, Reagan. Of all the modalities, which do you feel strongest passion for? Okay, that's a complex question. Physical mediumship is the most interesting to me. So like I love learning about physical mediumship. I'd love to experience more genuine phenomena, because the bit that I have experienced is so cool. It's just absolutely incredible. So I would love to experience more physical phenomena, more physical mediumship. That would be incredible. As far as so that's one of my passions, is that physical mediumship in general, just as a topic. Trance mediumship is my favorite form of mediumship, because for me personally, because you feel the spirit so obviously that there's no question that they're there working with you. They're able to bring through all kinds of experiences and information, and it's just absolutely incredible. So trance medium actually is my favorite form of mediumship to do. But obviously mental mediumship, psychic awareness, all that stuff is super fun as well. So that's what I would say. Hi, Midori. Is it different than Reiki taking your course, healing course? Yes. So what I teach is not Reiki. It is kind of in the style of like Charlie Goldsmith, which is not specifically Reiki. To me, it's a much simpler thing, and to me it's more fundamental. There's no signs or symbols that you have to do. There's no specific order in which you have to do anything. It's literally a matter of learning, how do I connect in with my healing energy, and how do I channel this healing energy? What am I sending? How am I sending it? And getting immediate results. And this is results for physical ailments. If you go to my website, you can see I just actually posted my healing, the healing work that I do, like as an offering. which I haven't charged for before. And I just started having an offering there. But on there, you can see some of the immediate healing work that I've done, including a frozen shoulder example when I first started doing the healing here on TikTok. And then you also can see a perfect example of healing of a horse's leg in 24 hours. The next day, the horse's leg looked totally different. So that's also on that page. So yeah. Have I ever seen a full-bodied apparition? I never have. I wish I had. There's still time. There's still time to experience the apparition. Physical mediumship is mediumship that is physical in the space. So you can see things. Like everybody in the room, if we were all in the room together and physical mediumship phenomena started to occur, like objects moving on their own, knocks, taps, raps, cool breezes. Those are more minor ones. Then we go into like spirit lights. We start getting, trumpet phenomena, direct voice, spirit speaking directly into the room, levitation. These are all things that can occur in physical mediumship. Hello, Kaiten. Have you ever, okay, this might be too complicated, but how has your medium changed over time? It's gotten more accurate, more specific. My ability to surrender has gotten stronger over time. That's probably the biggest change. And when you can surrender, your mediumship gets stronger. So the more that you're able to let go, the more comfortable you start to feel with things. So I'd say that's the other thing, is like building the trust with the spirit world, feeling a confident sense that like when I let go, they're going to catch me. That's a huge difference that happens over time. The reason I need mentorship is I feel things but don't know how to approach people. So you should never approach people without them reaching out to you for a reading. So even if you feel something as a medium, you actually never should go up to them. You should never try to tell them what you're getting. They have to come to you. So you tell the spirit world, okay, hey, if you want this person to get this message, you need to find a way to get them to come to me and ask me for it. That is the ethical way to do it. So don't go off of what you see on TV, people going and, at the dentist and all that stuff, giving messages. They have to come to you and they have to give you consent. So that's number one. But the second thing is spirit is always around you all the time. So at any point in time, if I want to get in contact with the spirit person, I could do that. Why? Because spirit is always present. There's always some spirit around. What changes is my awareness of them. So it's like kind of having like an iris of awareness, and my iris opens up and I'm aware of more. And then when I don't want it to be open, I bring it back in. And that's how you're able to see and experience more of what is there. So that's what I would say. What's this page you're talking about? Where the horse's leg was healed? It's my my website, mediummichaelmayo.com, and I need to change the URL because that is a terrible URL. But if you go there, so mediummichaelmayo.com, you can click on healing, and then you scroll down, and you'll eventually see the horse's leg. You'll see a little YouTube video you can watch. So yeah. Let's see. Where am I going? I wish I had a healing guide to come help me and heal these vestibular issues. Oh, I'm sorry you're having that. You can ask, and you can also learn how to do the healing for yourself. That is something that I've done before. When you refer to let go, are you talking about not asking spirit info by letting spirit just use you? When I'm referring to let go, I'm actually referring to the sense and feeling within yourself of not trying to move things along or not trying to make something happen. That's what I'm referring to specifically. That's the simplest way to put that. It's a feeling of surrender. It's a feeling of letting go and allowing the spirit to move and inspire you. That also includes not asking the spirit information, not asking them for information, just letting them bring it to you. So that, yes, what you're saying is also included in that. But yeah, hopefully that makes sense. Do you believe in spirit babies? I'm currently reading a book on it. I mean, I guess, what does that mean? Like, how would you define spirit babies? How soon have you had any loved ones come to you after they had passed? Almost immediately, within a couple days. There is no limit to how soon they can come. There's nothing that kind of prevents that. Oh my goodness, Daniela. 417. Geez. I'm a hypnotherapist. Can you describe the difference of trance in mediumship versus hypnotic trance? Well, the process of getting into the trance might be the same in some way. Hopefully, you're still here to hear this, but they're going to be similar because you're still moving into an altered state. But the trance that occurs when you're working with a spirit, there's an extra consciousness coming forward and utilizing your awareness. And you're stepping out of the way and letting them step forward. So in that way, it is different because hypnotic trance, that's like the step of getting into the trance state. And then where you go from there will depend on what's doing it. So the influence from your guides or helpers will be the thing that makes you, that makes the difference, I guess I would say. Where the heck is the other thing? Oh, right there. Okay. Let's see. How do you take control of the spirits coming in for readings and not letting everyone talk at once? Two ways. One, you don't have to control it. You just wait for one of them to come closest to you. So if you think of it in terms of, I have my energy and my aura open, and even though I'm aware of multiples, I'm not going to engage any of it until someone steps into my energy. I can feel them close to me. I can feel them blending with me. And then that's the one I'm going to work with to the exclusion of the others. And I'll work with them. I mean, I can acknowledge the other ones and be like, okay, I have a lady here that feels like grandma. I have a guy here who feels like your brother. And then I have your dad over here. I'm going to wait and see who steps forward. And then one of them will step into your energy. So that's kind of how you have to kind of hold in your own awareness that one of these people is going to step in my energy, not everybody coming in at once, essentially. And so you're just waiting for that one to step in to be the sort of leader of the moment. And then you can switch and go to the next one and then the next one. Or you can work with them at the same time. There's all kinds of different ways you can work with the spirit world. How do you feel being a medium has helped you deal with grief in losing a loved one? The fun fact is, you still feel the grief just as painfully when you lose someone. Not because you feel the sense of, I will never see this person again, or I'll never know them, or that they're gone. In that way, I think maybe it takes a little bit of the edge off, but you still have to grieve the loss of their presence. You still have to grieve the loss of the closeness of that person, being able to call them up, being able to talk to them whenever you want to talk to them. That is the thing you end up grieving, being able to hug them, being able to do all these things. So you will grieve pretty much the same way that you grieve when someone passes, but you will also probably experience that person in a very personal way that will tell you that they still are here, and they'll check in with you and be like, hey, what's up? And then also, if you do a job like I do, which is teaching students mediumship, you constantly have readings done on you by your students. And so therefore you speak a lot to your loved ones in spirit. So in that way, that's always nice. So even though it feels like they're gone, they actually work with me all the time to help my students and things like that. So you hear a lot from them, which I think is also different, but that's also more specific to the job that I do, not just being a medium. Because I'm a teacher of the topic, that is why I experience more of them. Good evening, Michael. I'm excited. I signed up to be a sitter for one of your students. Amazing. Love it. I hope it goes well. And if it doesn't, we can always reschedule you. So don't worry about that. Let's see. I definitely need more practice if there's more than one. I have a hard time deciphering what's coming from who. Yeah, definitely. And that comes with time and getting better at it. I agree. You have to just go through the loss, just know they're close. Yeah, 100%. There's like mediums aren't exempt from grief at all. We're not exempt from it. We are human beings, and we experience the loss and the pain and the tears, and we have to go through all the same things everybody else has to go through. And then we get to know that they're still okay. And we know that they're there, which is pretty awesome. I'm almost done with my tea, so I'm going to probably do readings soon. Can I ask a question? If you are referring to a question that is psychic or mediumship, I don't do readings in that way. But if you want to ask a question about something, mediumship, psychic, or awareness, but if it's like a personal reading question, that's not how I do my readings. I bring people up and I talk to them to show that I'm actually connecting to them. So yes, you can answer the question if it's not a personal like mediumship, psychic awareness question, or sorry, psychic. Me using my psychic skills or mediumship skills, that's different. The power has been Saturn. That's very good. Hello, JT. When my friend passed, she came through so quick, and although I cried, it was really cool to hear. Of course, absolutely hear her. Yeah, 100%. That definitely helps. How have your allergies been? I'm in Virginia, and these constant weather changes are kicking my ass. Yeah, they have not been. They've been better. So I had that really bad allergy flare. A little bit ago, and then I've been really good after that, and then now they're pretty good. We're still on pretty good. I'm still like kind of getting a little bit like clearing my throat and stuff like that or doing that, right? So obviously it's not totally gone, but they're definitely better. We got it under control, which is good. Thanks for asking. Can people you never met but are related come through? Absolutely. That has absolutely happened lots. Okay. I'm pretty much done with this. I just have a couple more sips and then we can do a couple of readings. Yeah. So let's see. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for liking the lives. That's very helpful. So the more, all 83 of you, if you tap the screen and like the live, that is very, very helpful. The more likes and the shares, the better off that is for me. So more people can find me, so more people can see good mediumship and get good information. So your taps aren't just for me. Your taps are also for helping others find quality information. Silver Moon, you can put it in there if you want to. I mean, I'm not going anywhere, so you're welcome to put the long question in the chat, or if you want, I can bring you up. I can send you a link and you can come up here and I can answer that live for you. So just let me know. Or if you have TikTok, you can jump on the TikTok. That's easier to bring you up on, but I can bring you up on Instagram too if you wanted. So yeah, we're going to be doing readings soon. Welcome in. If you're new here, do give me a follow if you like mediumship, psychic awareness, healing, seances, trance mediumship, mediumship development. All of those things are what I do. So if you like that stuff, that's what you're going to get from following me. Let me send you this little link here. I'm assuming you don't have, I don't know if this is going to work, but sometimes I just email the link and that helps. Boom, present, invite guest. If you can't use this to get in, I'm going to paste it here. If you can't get in with that, if you can't copy that somehow and like paste it in a thing, then that is okay. I can email it to you, so you can always do that. If you need me to email it to you, just let me know. I really appreciate you answering questions. It's so refreshing to connect. Yeah, of course. That's what we're here for. I'm nothing if not providing answers to questions. Hello, super late, but I'm here. Hello, everyone. Yes, well, you're not that late. Try, please. It didn't work. Okay, let me email it to you. Do you want to just pop your thing there? If you put your email in that chat, I will email you the link because that should work. Paste. Let's see what happens. Michael, I'm fostering 2 baby wild bunnies. They're doing wonderful. Oh, baby bunnies. Hello, Florian. Hello, Grateful. Okay, let's copy this. Copy, paste. Okay, I just sent it. Oops. Please hold. I have some extra stuff that's not supposed to be in the email. There we go. Okay, I just emailed it to you. Try to join there. Let's hope that it works. Hopefully I'll see you pop up here in just a second. Let me know if that works. If it doesn't, I will try a different thing. Hello, Kendra. Hello, Claudia. Thank you all for being here. It's great to have you in the live. We will be doing readings soon, so yeah. Sorry I didn't say hi when I came in. That's okay, Catherine. You can always watch secretly if you want to, but it's always nice to get to say hello to everybody who's joining. Nice to say hi. Hello, Kathy. Let me know if that worked there. Aloha. You're almost done with your walk. Great. Love that you're getting your steps in. Good job. Did that work, Trina? Hopefully it did. Yes, it did. Nice. Good job, Trina. You did it.
Hi. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can see you.
Nice
Hello?
to see you again. It's been many, many years.
Yeah.
So I'm in a hotel room right now, so it's not my normal background.
Yeah.
So I took a bold move, and on Sunday, I joined a free online virtual mediumship practice group. And I am part of an academy and through another medium uh, training, but this was separate than that. And anyway, so when I got in the room, it was about 12 other people, and I come to find out it was done gallery style, and in no divination tools, and it was all evidential. And so, great learning curve for me. Uh, Total strangers, never met them before. So we had the option to either just observe, especially for first timers, or just be a sitter. And I told them, well, let me just see how spirit wants to work. But for right now, I want to observe. So everybody else had gone. There was 2 people still left, and while the last 2 people were speaking, and basically it was they started to connect, and they would do like a first pass, and maybe it would zero into like a few people, and then so on and so forth until it connected to the one, and then they would move from there. So that was kind of like the format.
Sure.
But as I was just sitting there, and I wasn't really zeroing in on anybody specifically on the screen, there's 12 sets of eyes looking back at me. But I started to get these downloads, and I got like 2 full names, and then I got images of the more stronger presence, and his personality and some of his likes. And I saw, like, he showed me a place, and and so I'm taking notes, and I'm kind of just taking this in. And it was coming in. It was just like bits and pieces. I hear and I see and I feel. So I get like all three kind of coming in almost, simultaneously.
Sure.
Like I'll hear and then I'll see the name go across my mind's eye
Sure.
or whatever. So I'm just writing this stuff down. And then I was the only one who hadn't taken a turn. And the facilitator was like, okay, is there anybody else that wants to share anything? And I was, and they were all kind of looking at me because I was the only one who hadn't spoken up. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to be bold and I'm going to say what I saw.
Sure.
And it turned out, with the first bits of information, it was two people. But as I continued, every single piece of information I got was for a single individual. And I got collected about 11 to 12 items,
Good.
which was great. So my question is because I wasn't specifically linking in the moment. I wasn't intentionally sitting in the power in that moment. They didn't even do a meditation first. It was just, they just really rolled into it, which was not how I usually work with my other peer-to-peer group practice that I do through my academy.
Sure.
So that kind of took me by surprise. How do I know, or what would be my way of understanding if I was picking up something psychically, through the individuals in the room, or if it was truly spirit coming and giving me this information.
Yeah.
Um, how do I discern the difference? Or in that case, did it really matter since it all did link up? And when I went to try then to get a message, I I got a simple, he was handing out a yellow rose is what with the image. And this had been like just a sense of like, I'm there with you, extending the love and the friendship and the support that this individual was bringing is what I was feeling at the end, because I felt a lot of warmth in the heart center with it. But
Sure.
there wasn't really a lot of message. It was just evidential, for the most part. So how do I navigate that in the future?
Yeah. Great question. So what I'm hearing is that you were in the group, you were in the energy, that was what was going on. The real way to discern whether this is working psychically or mediumship is through the power of feeling, so through clairsentience. That's how we can tell. So, we can see pictures till the cows come home, but if we don't have presence there with us, meaning we have to be able to have a way to discern there is a person here, I can feel them here, because the feeling sense is something that's very hard to make up. So it's very
Mhm.
hard to make up a sense of pressure building up around me somewhere in the space, someone actually coming in, or the chills and all that sort of thing. You can't like imagine that into being, or at least if you can, it's much more difficult than maybe pictures that come to our mind. So
Right.
what I'm hearing, so I guess that's my first question. Did you feel presence there with you? Did you feel someone was right there?
I
Feel
felt this. Yes, initially, when I first started to get the names, which is what came first, I felt that, I felt the drop, that shift, is how I describe it. I feel like it comes from the ether and it drops.
Oh, we lost you for 1 second. Please hold while Trina returns to the land of the living. We're going to wait. While we're waiting, though, I'm just going to look and see what questions, thoughts, feelings, opinions we have. If you're not following, do give a follow. Thanks for the likes and the shares. Really appreciate that. Helps to get this live and good information out to those who need it here on the TikTok land. Okay, so Trina dropped off for a second, so she'll probably be back in just 1 second. I'm sure you are definitely wanting to know what the answer is. We're definitely going to give that answer for sure. Hello, Round Dog, if you're still here. There's Trina.
My daughter was calling in and it dropped the call.
That's
So
okay. No
I
worries.
apologize. I might have to move the screen real quick to text her to say
Yeah, go
just
for it. Why don't you
hold
do
on, I'm
that?
in the middle of something.
Just go
Yeah,
ahead and do
so
that really
yeah.
quickly, and
So I
then
just felt that drop down. I felt this in
yes, you should text your daughter and tell her, or put it on Do Not Disturb for a hot minute. What a cliffhanger! I know that's real. I get the feeling there's someone next to me often. Maybe there's something there, Key. Just went for a walk, asked my mom to send me a feather, and she sent 3 separate ones. Fabulous. Love that. Love that. That's awesome. I'm gonna have to grab my phone charger here in a minute. Otherwise, y'all are gonna lose me.
all
Are you back?
right. All right. Yes. So I think
Yeah,
did you catch that?
I got all of
Okay.
it. Yep. So
Thank
you
you.
did feel a shift. You felt a shift in the atmosphere. You felt something sort of drop in, which is great. Um, what we want to do is feel that the entirety of the information coming in. That way we can be certain that it's all coming from the spirit communicator. That being said, if you can feel the presence, it's likely that that came from the spirit. If it
Yay.
goes in and out, where maybe you sometimes are getting the information from the spirit, sometimes you're just getting it from your own awareness, that can also happen. But what I would say is you didn't have the pressure on you to perform because you were watching other people work, and therefore it was easier for you to get the information because there was no tension on you. You didn't even know if you were going to say anything, and therefore you are in this relaxed, neutral, open space, and that's why mediumship works. Like, you have to be in that relaxed, neutral state to maintain and continue to get that information. So basically what you were doing is what we would call pre-linking. So before you were in an active communication that's going back and forth between you, the spirit, and the sitter, you were getting the information and you wrote it all down. Is that correct? And then you just gave
Yes.
information. Yeah.
Yes.
So we
Every
call
time
that
I got a new bit.
we would call that pre-linking, which is fine. That is one way to work. However, that's different than working with the spirit in the moment and having that power build and change and shift as you're speaking about it. That's what we would want to train you in, to
Okay.
get you to make sure that that is something that is available to you. So we would have to work on the tension pieces. But the good news is the fact that you were able to get the accurate information when there wasn't pressure on you tells you that, okay, great, I'm connecting in, I'm getting that information. How we would adjust that moving forward is through the development process of learning how to move into the communication without tension, without desire, distraction, and expectation. As I don't know if you were here earlier, I was talking about those things, but desire, distraction, and expectation are the sources of tension, and they're the things that cause us to get blocked. So, for example, the desire to get it right, the desire to do well, the desire to fill in the blank, right? That is, you'll feel that little reach, right? That little party that's like, oh, I want to get that information. And what that does is the tension makes your little tube of getting information smaller and smaller. Versus
I
when I'm
see.
relaxed and I don't really care and I'm different about the outcome, I stay
Mhm.
nice and open and I'm able to continuously receive information. So in this example, you were in that relaxed state because you didn't even know if you were going to say anything and you were able to receive the information. So that's what training and development does. It teaches you how to stay in that relaxed, open state on command, right? So
Right.
that was great. I'm curious, were the names taken?
Yes, both of the full names, and then I got the first initial of the father, so her grandfather. So it was her father, her grandfather, and then the uncle.
Yeah,
All three showed up, but I only got the first initial of the grandfather. But there was one speaking to me that he was the one like telling me the family, like they were all together,
great.
like we're all together. That's how I felt it was being brought in, because the one that I got all the description of the personality and hobbies and everything was the one specific, and that was the father.
Great. So you had your main communicator. This was the one that's anchoring in
Mhm.
the communication. And then
Right.
he's referencing other spirit communicators that were also there with him.
Hmm. Yep.
Fabulous. So all that
Yeah.
work. So really, it is going to be your process of development will be making sure we can feel the presence of
Hmm.
the spirit. person the entirety of the time. That's how I'm going to tell
Right.
whether it's my psychism or not. You won't feel presence of a communicator if you're working psychically, but you will
Okay.
feel presence of communicator if you are working mediumistically.
Got it. So I should remember the way that the state that I was in when that connection started to come about and grow, and start practicing that just by myself, as well as sitting in the power, just to continue to develop that state
It's
of
sit
that
in the power.
relaxing state.
Yes. So sit in the power. And then the other thing is learning how to soften and let go.
Okay.
So, Trina, have you ever taken anything with us? I can't remember.
I did. I sat in your mediumship circle groups at Awakenings in Mission Viejo.
Okay, great.
Yeah, that was the first time I intentionally connected to spirit, because I had been connecting to spirit for a long time, but not ever intentionally. You know,
But that would have been
um,
before I was implementing
Oak
a
Bridge.
exercise that we do at Oak Bridge in the Foundations One series, which is called Hard Focus, Soft Focus. And in that
Hmm.
exercise, we learn what it feels like when we're trying to get information, and then what it
Hmm.
feels like when we totally let go, totally relax, totally surrender. What we want to
Yeah.
learn is, what does it feel like? What do I do internally that allows me to totally soften, totally let go? Because when we start letting go and we can employ that over and over, right? Like, for
Hmm.
example, I was going to do a reading or I was going to attune my awareness. I'm softening from this inner place within me, this like release of just like, and I don't give a crap. Right? Like, and I don't care. Right. And I'm totally softening and letting go. And it's like almost like the feeling of a bottom of a sigh right before you take a deep breath in again. Right.
Yeah.
Like, we just take a deep breath in right now and then just totally let it out. Ready? And right when your body just wants to breathe again, there's sort of this release feeling, right? Like there's this
Yes.
feeling of release. That's the thing that we want to get good at feeling without necessarily even having to take a breath every time. Although there's something wrong with breathing to help you get into
Yeah.
that state. But it's that level of like, that's how you increase and open your energy. When we
Yeah.
soften and we let go, my energy stays nice and open, nice and wide. When I start trying, or I feel nervous, or I have a desire for an outcome, or I get distracted by my sitter's responses, or any of these things, desire, distraction, expectation, I get tight. And that's what diminishes our connection. So when you're feeling
Right.
nervous, like, oh shit, I got to do a reading now. If I don't know how to soften and let go, I'm not going to be as strong as you were when the pressure wasn't on you. Does that make sense?
Right.
I want you to
Absolutely.
practice figuring out, what do I do that softens? Like, how do I let go? And then how I'm going to let
Hmm.
go again. And then I'm going to let go again. And then what you'll find is, if you're doing it well and you're doing it correctly, like letting go repeatedly,
Hmm.
the atmosphere will start to feel thicker. It'll start to get tingly, buzzy, warmth,
Hmm.
heaviness. You probably experience that when you sit in the power, is like the
Hmm.
heaviness and the pressure. That's letting us know that we're going the right direction. So you can almost think of it in terms of, um, when you're sitting in the power and then all of a sudden you just start feeling more sensation and you start feeling the power and all that stuff. That's the same concept when you're doing readings, where if I soften and relax that state, I start to experience something I wasn't experiencing before without trying, right? But now, instead of it being that sort of tingly, buzzy, or maybe not instead of, in addition to feeling that tingling, buzzing, warmth, heaviness, thickness in the atmosphere, you actually start getting information from the spirit world.
Hmm.
It comes in that state. So we really use those sensations as sort of a determiner, to determine whether or not I'm connected or not, right? We use that sense of sensitivity and that shift in that atmosphere to tell if I'm connected. So I want you to get good at that. Learning how to let go and stop trying is what
Hmm.
you want to do. The more that you get into that passive state, the easier it'll be on command. And then you go, okay, great, I can do this now. So we have to let go of our attachment to the outcome. We have to let go of wanting it to look, feel, or be a certain way. We have to really
Yeah.
let go of these things to be able to kind of move into that state when I want to.
Love that. That is such great advice. Absolutely. I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna start just remembering how that felt, because again, when I was getting that information and I was feeling that, I of course, I was questioning, I wonder if any of this even will mean anything, but I'm feeling it, so it has to be. And it's just I'm entering back into this calling. And so it all feels very new again to me, and it's exciting, but at the same time, there's a lot of growth to
I'm
come.
I'm excited that you're doing that, and
Thank
we're
you.
always here, Oak Bridge or myself are
Yeah,
always here if you ever want any extra support in any of the things that we just talked about. So you just let us know, we'll be here. So if that ever
absolutely.
feels resonant to you, we'll be here to support you. But otherwise, you can always come up and ask questions, and I'm happy to give you anything that I have.
I appreciate that, Michael. Thank you. Thank you
You're
so
so
much. And this is wonderful what you're doing.
Thank you so much, Trina.
Yeah.
Well, it was a pleasure seeing you again. I know it's been years,
Uh,
quite a many years,
Cheers.
but it's good to
Yeah,
see you. And yeah, that keep tuning in, and I'm here if you need me. Okay.
absolutely. Thank you, Michael. Have a great evening.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
um. Okay. Oh, sweet Trina. Wow, listening to this has opened an aha for me. Oh, I love that. That's really what we want to have. Hey, Cody. Let's keep going. Hopefully that was helpful for other people. Hey, Colby. Thanks for being here. Nice to see you again. Yes, with some good info. Yeah, there's more where that came from, Angie. There's a lot more where that came from. Let's go. Okay, so I guess we should do readings, right? I guess that's what you guys are here for. Other than seeing my, my lovely muscles, as I wear my horse shirt. So that is, you come for the readings, but you stay for the guns. I better be careful if I say it on TikTok because I'll get a. I mean, these guns. Oh, I should stop saying guns. Okay, watch it. Now I'm gonna get a freaking thing. Watch, guys. I'm gonna get a thing. Ooh, tea leaf into the mouth. Crazy husband. Hell yeah. Wish you the best. Wish you the best, crazy husband. I love listening to you educate. Thank you so much, Kendra. I love educating. It's one of my favorite things to do. It's why I'm passionate about mediumship and teaching this. I mean, I got to do something with the 20 something years of 20 plus years of doing this work and developing and all of that. Oh, we love TikTok shop. It's funny, actually. My partner and I are going to actually do a little bit of TikTok shop just to see what occurs, mostly him. But I figured, why not get in on it? Why not see what happens? But I'm only going to promote things that I'm passionate about, that I actually like, and that I actually use. I'm not going to be like promoting other things, but we're going to see what happens because why not? Multiple streams of income is never a bad thing. So, yeah, Mayo merch. No, it wouldn't be Mayo merch, but I like that you call it Mayo merch. That's a very interesting way to talk about it. What if you do it as Sylvia Brown? I could do it as Sylvia. Honey the land, I could do all that. You absolutely make me excited for things to come. Oh, good. Yeah, no, mediumship is incredible. Mediumship, psychic awareness, all that. Hi, Dominique. Recently redid the practice from class to help connect our spirit guides. Amazing. I love that you do that. We're doing that in class right now. Hi, Michael. Hi, Michael. Hi, Diana. Nice to see you. I know I really should. I should make shirts that say this and that are cutoffs like this. I think that would probably do well. This was a very awkward, boring shirt before. And then I said, let's make it fabulous. And I did. And it's actually my favorite shirt to wear now. So that's fun. So yes, please like and share the live, por favor. Do less shirts. I know. Do less is really one of my things. Another shirt, never limit a limitless power. That's a good one. We'll put Eileen Davies as the quoter there. I started doing that at markets, readings, and selling books. Cool. Let's keep going here. Okay. So let's do some readings. I don't know if, yes, Kathy, it's a good one. It's an Eileen Davies quote. Do less is a good one. Do less is a good one. That one's is a Michael Mayo. That's a Michael Mayo quote. I actually have a do less shirt, and I also made it slutty, but not as good as this one. This one actually looks good. The other one's a little bit too, trying to do that. Actually, let me quickly grab my phone charger, because if I don't plug it in, that phone's gonna die. So I will be right back. Give me 1 second. I'll be back. Oh, hi, Dr. Bird. You gonna come in here while I do readings? Okay. Ugh. Oh, lower my little body on back onto the chair. All right. Hello, soul artist Robin. Oh, Hudson's going to join us for the readings, as it turns out. He's probably going to jump up on my lap right in now. Are you going to jump up here, bro? Is that what you're going to do? You're welcome to. You can do that. I will allow it if you want to. And you do want to, so let's go. Get up then. Come on. Make it happen, bro, because I don't want you bumping and grinding me. Hello from Vancouver. Hello, you're just above me. Oh, Canada. I know he didn't do it, but he's going to do it. It's going to be right when I don't want him to jump on my lap, too. That's always the case. Yeah, that is where he's at. Let me scoot forward just a little bit. Okay. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's fall in love. Okay. Oh, you're also in Canada. Yeah, I like Canada's national anthem. I think it's actually really good. It's a good one. Black cats are the best. I wish I had a black cat. I want all the cats though, so there's also that. Like, I would have every cat I could possibly own if that was a thing. Hello, Jenny. Aw, starts talking to spirits. That's awesome. Oh, my old mean cat sat me during the sitting in the park tonight. That's amazing. I love that. They do like the energy. Okay, so how we're going to work. By the way, keep liking and sharing this live, por favor. And if you are not following me, I recommend you do. I go live every Monday to do readings, free readings. You can always book a private sitting with me on my website, and that's an option too, mediummicmayo.com. But you don't have to. You can just come here and enjoy. Your friend just inherited 13 cats. Dreams do come true. Dreams do come true. That is what I want my life to look like, honestly. That's a lot of vacuuming. That's vacuuming more than one time a day. With 3 cats, if we don't vacuum regularly, oof, let me tell you what. So, okay, let's do it. So basically, if you haven't seen me work before, this is how I'm going to work. I'm going to I might do some psychic readings too, in case you're interested in that. Some people like psychic readings, some people like mediumship. So I might work in a couple different ways, but I'm going to first start off with mediumship, and this will be spirit-led. And so basically what's going to happen is I'm going to soften my awareness, see who starts to step forward. And as I feel this person stepping forward, I'll describe to you who I feel I have. As I describe them, you're just going to listen. And then at some point, I'm going to say, who can understand this person? When I do that, you can then put a heart in the chat and the percentage you can take of this person. I'll also probably go with who I feel drawn to. That's usually what I do. And yeah, then you have to come up on the live because I don't like doing it via text. So that's also important. By the way, thank you for continuing to like and share the live. I really appreciate it. And so, yeah. And then the second thing is that because you're coming on the live, you're giving me permission to use this for content, but you don't have to have your camera on. So just know that. I've yet to use this for content or any of my lives I've done over the last couple of years, but that's changing soon. I'm getting better at social media. And by that, I mean, I hired someone to get me better at social media, says the guy who's going to try to do TikTok job, right? Because I can't stand it. It's like so much work. But anyway, I'm turning a new leaf. I'm growing as a person, and I'm going to get better at social media. And I'm just going to do it. And I'm not going to say that I can't. But again, thank you for liking and sharing the line. If you're not following me, do give me a follow so that you can know when I'm going live and doing free readings. Because I'll tell you what, a free reading from me is much cheaper than my paid readings. So enjoy the free reading. Okay, so back to what I was saying. The important thing to know is that I'm going to provide the information. Wait till I ask you who can understand this information, then you'll put hearts in the chat. You should be able to take 100% of it, basically. If there are certain things, Travis, let's talk more action, Poppy. Thank you, Travis. If you're not following Travis, you should follow Travis. And if you're not following Miranda, Spiritual Therapy, you should definitely follow Miranda. Are you going back to private readings? I am. I am going back to private settings. So that's cool. Yeah. Going back to doing private settings. We have arrived back to where I feel ready to do so. So, yeah. I love how my cat decided not to jump on my lap. And instead, he just is there. What else am I saying? Travis, what else was I saying before you rudely interrupted me? You little munchkin. Actually, now he's going to make a short joke because Travis is actually very tall. And I'm not. I'm only 5'7". Sorry, growing as a person. Hilarious. So, okay. Anyway, I'm going to now start doing readings. So give me a moment and I'm going to start to become sensitive. Please don't put any personal information about who you're hoping to hear from in the chat. That's not going to make me pick you at all anymore. And also, I think I can see the moon. Also, it's going to make scammers come and try to scam you. So this is your fair warning that if anyone ever messages you saying, I want to do a reading for you, please know that that's not me. Even if they have my pictures, even if they talk like me, they probably won't. They'll probably say something else like some weird phrase. But anyway, all those things. Just don't give people money. Okay, don't give people money. The only way you can book with me is through my website. So if anyone messages you saying they want to do something with you, it's not me. So I'm going to say that really clearly. It's not me. It's not me. It's not me. And we should all know that by now, especially if you watch anyone do readings on here. Hey, Trey. Excited you're here. Thank you for being here. Yeah, I think that's everything. So I'm going to go ahead and get started and see who starts to step forward. And we will go from there. One of my favorite things to say to the spirit world as I tune to them is, help me to get out of the way. Help me to follow your lead. Help me to surrender to you. I can't do this without you. That is my prayer that I have done for years and years and years. And it's one of my things that I say to the spirit world because it all helps me to view this more as they're coming to me. I'm not having to do anything. I'm not having to reach for them or try to find them or try to get them. All I have to do is soften, relax, do less, and wait for something to start to occur. Okay. Ooh. There's something coming. Definitely feel the power shifting. Ooh, getting little chills. That's a good sign. Someone is here with me, but I'm just gonna not try to focus too hard. Keep that soft focus, that very relaxed, diffused awareness. And of course, my cat nudges me as soon as I'm wanting to start. There you go. Hello. Just gonna let this person step in. Yeah, I do think you are a female. Just gonna let her. She's like, yep. Okay, let me just let her come in a little bit more. Not gonna look for anything. I'm just gonna let her come closer. Thank you for that information. Right now, I'm just kind of letting her just sort of blend here. She's sort of taking shape. She's taking form in my energy. And I'm just going to let her step in a little bit more. Oh, hello. Wow, she's coming in really strong. She's actually making my elbow tingle. Okay, I think that's you. I'm just going to do my best to describe you the best that I can. This is definitely a younger woman, as I feel her here with me. She's probably, this is just me going off of how she looks. So not really an age she's given me yet, but I'm going to put her like young 30s. I feel like she has to be young 30s. As I feel like maybe 31, possibly, or 31 might connect here. Let me let her step in a little bit more. Ooh, there you are. Hello. She definitely seems fairer skinned to me. If I am to trust the image that I'm getting, she definitely feels more fair. Warm, bubbly. She feels more like a friend than anything for the person that she's here for. I feel like I need to go something around Joe or Joanna. I felt like a female Joe is actually what I felt. Joe, J-O. So that should connect somewhere around here. Let me just relax into her. Okay. Huh. Okay, there might be two people here because as I just said that, I felt an older lady standing with her who feels older. This feels like a grandma of the sitter. So there should be a friend and a grandmother in spirit, and this friend feels like she passes young. Grandma feels as though she's probably about 83, maybe 86, one or the other, or somewhere around that age, so between 83 and 86. When she passes to the spirit world, grandmother feels tough. She feels strong, but not in a mean way. She just feels like she shows her love through this very direct, no nonsense sort of quality, but not in like a curmudgeon kind of vibe. It feels more like she's coming forward as a like a safety point. Like she feels like she could handle anything. As I talk about her too, I know that she would have had a partner that she would have had who he would have passed before her, and I want to give him somewhere in the 70s. He would have died in his 70s is the feeling that I get, and she would have died over 10 years or so later than him. So she would have been by herself, but she feels like that was sad for her, but it was also like one of those things of I keep going on with it. Let me get more specifics to get a little bit more here. This would be maternal grandma, so this would be mom's mom is the feeling here, so that should make sense. I need to talk about through. can't tell if that's 3 kids and 2 boys. So 1 girl and 2 boys would feel connected to her as I'm talking about her. I'm going to jump back over to this other gal that feels also connected. This would be the friend that should also make sense to you in spirit. And with her, there is this feeling of, hold on, let me just get a sense of her. Grandma's more strong here, but she's right here. Maybe I'll let her talk second. I think I'm going to place this with Grandma, and then I think she'll come forward when it's her turn. But I feel like Grandma really wants to come forward. Something with a P. There must be something that sounds like Perts or has a P-E-R-T sound to it that makes sense. There's got to be a P, there's got to be an R, there's got to be a T sound somewhere in this name is what it feels like. Okay, anyway, I'm not going to think about it too much. Let me just see what else she can bring to me. I also feel that there must be, I talked about those 3 kids. I feel like she would have lost a child as well. I can't tell if that's from the 3 kids or if that's something somewhere else, but I feel she would have lost a child. I know that she would be, there feels like a Midwest sort of energy here, connection. And I feel like I have to go like northern Midwest. Like, I don't know if this is around, I'm not clear what that's around. Maybe around Wisconsin, Illinois, right around there somewhere. Maybe even a little bit higher like Minnesota, but I'm not clear on that. So if you can't take that, that's okay. But I feel like I need to go somewhere Midwestern-y. Hold on. There should be a, oh, that was an S-A. I can't tell if that was Sam or Sarah, Sam or Sarah. I don't know, S-A. I'm not going to leave it there because it's not strong enough. I'm not blended enough with her. Let me just let her come in a little bit more. I feel like I need to talk about wedding anniversary in January. There's something about a wedding anniversary in January. I feel like that's enough information for me to throw it out there. If anyone can understand like 100% of this, that would be ideal. But go ahead and put a heart in the chat if you can take all this information. And I feel like the big thing is Grandma's in spirit, and I have a friend in spirit that would have been in my, it would have been in her 30s. And you should have heard the whole entire reading if you're taking this. Please put a heart and then how much you can take of it. Yeah, that's what I want. MBW, Tammy, can you take, how much of that can you take? I'm just going to look over here to see these other hearts. 98 says Lucy. Tammy, how much can you take? That's less than I want, Tammy, but let's see what happens. I'm going to go ahead and bring up, just keep listening, Tammy. This might be for you. This might not, I'm not sure, but just keep listening. I'm going to bring up Lucy since Lucy can take 98% of it. Let me just see what happens. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good.
I call you Lucy, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, amazing. Lucy, have I ever read you before?
Never.
Okay. Your picture looks familiar for some reason, so that's why I was asking.
I'm on TikTok. I've heard of you, and you were on my FYP for the first time tonight, twice.
Oh, cool.
And I've been on this app 5 years, and I've never run across a live, so.
Ta-da.
Yeah.
So Lucy, you can take both having a friend that would have passed like around early 30s and also grandma in spirit that would have passed in her 80s as well. Does that make sense?
Yes, the friend is a family member, but we were so close in age. We were best friends.
Okay, cool.
She would be in her 30s.
Okay, so she'd be in her 30s now, but not when she passed.
Yeah.
Okay.
but she was in her 20s
Okay.
when she passed.
So that's probably part of that 2% that you couldn't understand. Can you understand any of the places or the names or anything like that that would make sense?
Yes, the weird P name, I kept waiting, and her name, my mama is what I call her, my grandmother, her name is Parnell.
Okay.
So the P and the R and the...
Ish. There's no T in there, which I really wanted the T to be in there, but let's keep...
Well, my grandfather's the T and the S he had a nickname, which is the S you brought up.
Gotcha.
But his name is the T, if that...
It doesn't scratch the itch in the way that I want it to, but let's just work with it for right now, and let's see what happens here. If anyone else can take this information, though, do keep listening because it may be. I want to make sure I'm with the right person. Okay. So let me just see here. Give me 1 second. Grandma in spirit. Okay, can you take something in the north of the country, meaning of the United States, being somewhere connected to Midwest, northern part of the Midwest? Does that make sense?
Well, that's what I was thinking. I'm in northern Louisiana, and you did say like you wouldn't really...
But see, that would feel like the South for me, rather than the Midwest north. Because you said you're in Louisiana, right?
Yeah, but...
Yeah. I don't think it's with you, actually, just to tell you, Lucy, just because I would feel the power build, and I don't feel that. So if it's okay with you, I'm going to see who else can take it. But I appreciate you coming up, and I hopefully will get to read you at some point.
Okay. You have a good night.
Thanks. You too. Awesome. So I want to see who else can take this information because it's really important that I get with the right person. So I want it to be, I know I have someone, she feels like a friend. She would have been passed in her 30s, and that has to be true. And I know I have to have grandmother who would also have passed in her 80s. That has to be true. I also want to talk about, there's a strange sort of PERT sort of name that I can see there. And I know that there's a connection here to the Midwest. Tammy, I'm going to bring you up just to see, because you say you can take 95. So I want to just make sure that potentially can work here. I know I'll feel it when I'm with the right person, because the power will just go boom and just start getting crazy. What the heck? Sorry, guys, I'm messing with my screen here, and that is being crazy. Soul artist Robin, you say Pauletta, Sarah, Michigan. How much can you take of this? This thing got all jacked up, and now I can't get to the proper screen. There we go. So it's not letting me invite you up for some reason. It doesn't give me that option. Can you request here? And then, Robin, just keep listening because that might work. Let me see here. Perfect. I'm just going to bring her up. Keep listening there, though, Robin, because this might work for you. Let's see.
Hi, Michael.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm just letting your voice hit me, and I'm just going to notice if that is doing anything for me. And it kind of is a little bit. So I'm just gonna check in with you.
So I can...
Yeah, go ahead.
I can take the Midwest because my family's from Iowa.
Okay, great.
The P name is Pert Shampoo.
Okay, great. Did you say Pert?
Pert.
Yes.
Shampoo. That's
Thank
what
you.
she used to use.
Okay, great. Perfect.
Grandmother.
Okay.
And then friend who passed away in her 30s.
Okay, great.
That I used to work with.
Okay, fabulous. I think, yeah, and I just got the chills. Okay, so I think I'm with you, Tammy. And actually, I should have just gone with what I felt because when your name came up, I had a vibe that I was with you. So let me.
My grandmother's brother's name is Sam.
Perfect. There we go. All of
Yeah.
that's placing. That's what we needed. I can feel the power growing. And as I talk about this, I know grandma's stepping in much stronger. As I feel
Yeah.
her coming in, I want to talk about the bigness of her. And I don't mean physically, I just mean like the bigness of her presence, the bigness of her
Yes.
warmth, the bigness of her outgoingness. And like the thing that I can really feel as I'm talking about her, as I want to take you and I want to just wrap you in my bosom and just like hug you. And it feels like all my problems go away. All the worries go away when I get to be held by my grandma. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And as I feel her too, there feels to, ooh, she's giving me lots of chills. So I'm definitely with you, Tammy. So thank you for your patience in getting to you. This is a woman who I feel was incredibly loving, incredibly strong. Can you understand that part of her that feels, because see, I'm getting a different side of her. So this is really interesting. I do still feel she would have been a strong kind of like make things happen, perseverance type. And I also feel this very strong loving type. It was like almost like a fierce love. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yes.
Can you also understand with her
That
that
was my best friend.
oh, I just knocked that off. Can you also understand that with her, she would have had to, I don't know if she worked or she did something out of the home as well. And I feel as though she like pushed through. And would there be okay, can you take that part really quickly? Yes.
Yes.
Can you also understand that within her family, there would have been either something to do with like mining or coal or like getting our hands dirty with the work? Like I almost want to say like a factory or something, because there's almost this feeling of like pollution-y sort of thing related to her family as well. Can you understand that?
Yes. When she was let me get my words straight. During World War II, she was one of the ladies that went and worked in a factory.
Perfect. Okay. Because I just could feel this feeling of like getting my hands dirty, getting like making myself, work hard for that. And this is where some of her like that perseverance, no matter what occurs, comes in here. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Can you understand too that she would have been with her husband, but her husband is a bit more softer.
Absolutely.
He is more the quiet type and she's more the one that takes the lead. Can you understand that, Tammy?
Absolutely, yes.
And I feel with him, he was kind of the more reserved, not in a, cold way, but just he took a bit more time to warm up comparatively to her. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, yes.
And I also feel here with him, would there be a name that is shared between him and someone else in the family?
Yes.
Because I feel like I want to share a name. It's not John, is it?
No.
Okay. I just heard John, so I just needed to give John. Because I just feel as though I need to talk about the name that is shared between him and someone else in the family. As I talk about this too, can you understand the two boys and a girl being connected here?
No.
Okay. Can you understand, though, if it's not with that section of the family, would you be able to place that somewhere within the family of having two boys and a girl? Would that make sense to you somewhere? Because I really do feel this strongly. I feel like I need to talk about, let me see if I can get you a little bit more information to help make this make sense. I feel like I need to talk about the two females and the
There's
male.
2 females and a boy.
Okay, 2 females and a, well, okay,
There's
good.
2 and 1.
So I just accidentally just said 2 females and a boy, and that's what just fell out of my mouth. So I'm going to trust that because that's them kind of correcting me without me even having to think about it. So that's great. So you can understand that. I also want to go, let me see, where are we going with this? There is a move. This is with you. Would you have moved far away from, or like you grew up far away from where she would have been from? Like, I feel as if I need to go states away. Does that make sense to you? And I feel like your lived experience would be very different from hers with regards to that. And I need to talk also about a cancer that is coming in here within the family. This feels like with a woman. Can you understand this?
Yes.
Would this have been with her or a different person?
Different person.
Is this with mom?
No.
Okay. I just, for some reason, feel like I want to talk about mom and cancer as well. So I don't know if this person is just very connected to mom and that's why that's there, almost like mom was taking care of or supporting this person. But I just feel as though supporting, okay, because I just felt as though I want to say mom, Cancer, supporting there. As I say that, I'm just going to let this shift and change. Can you understand what is that? Would there have been either respiratory issues or something connected? And I actually want to go over to her, like mom's dad. Do you know of the respiratory issues there? I feel like I need
My
to say
mom's dad?
yes.
No.
Okay. For some reason, I'm feeling this strong feeling of need to talk about respiratory issues. Feels like with it's a male, not with a female. And I feel as though I want to talk about this, but I might just be getting that a little bit incorrectly. So let's relax into this just a little bit more and see where we are going. But you can understand the Cancer, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I can understand respiratory, so.
Okay, you can understand respiratory as well, just not with that specific person. Okay,
Yes.
that's okay. That could be me kind of doing a little bit of reaching there. Let me just relax into this a little bit more. Okay. Would there be a Jamie connection here as well? Do you know where Jamie would be placed? This feels related to friends.
No.
And I need to go back in time as I talk about Jamie, and it's a girl Jamie, not a boy Jamie. And I feel like I'm going back several years, probably like 15 years. And I feel like I need to talk about, because as I'm just kind of letting it unfold, she's taking me, I want to go back 15 years and I want to talk about I don't know what that is. It looks like a little bit like a bowling alley, but I don't think that's what it is. I think what they're trying to get me at is a sports thing or something related to sports. Can you take any of that?
Sports, yes.
Okay. I think the Jamie will make sense later, and if it does, you can always just message me and be like, Jamie made sense at some point. Okay, so let me just feel into this. I feel with grandma, I feel as though that she was very, I almost want to say accepting at the end. There's something about her accepting what was going on. Can you understand that?
Yes.
I feel almost as if she's like, this is my time and this is just how life is. And we come to the end and this is how that's happening and that's okay. Can you understand that attitude from her?
Yes.
I also feel here too, she's talking about either having to go see her or having to try to go see her. But can you understand you weren't able to be there at the end for her?
Yes.
She wants to let you know that's fine. That is okay. And then she also highlights being placed with her husband. Can you understand that?
Yes.
Would this be a burial?
Yes.
Okay, because I just feel as though I'm at a plot and I'm just seeing that as well. I'm gonna relax into her just a little bit. She's getting a little bit light, but I feel like she's trying to switch me to your friend that you knew from work. And as I do that, I want to sorry, my cat's gonna now try to jump on me and do crazy things because he's like, feed me dinner, man. But I'm like, it's still 30 minutes.
That's what cats do.
That's what they do. 30 minutes before they have to eat,
Right.
all the time. So what I can feel here from her, can you understand her having this sort of buoyancy quality to her, this sort of like, but sweet, like almost like calmer, sweeter.
Yes.
But like when she got comfortable, she was a little bit more silly, a little bit more playful,
yes,
buoyant.
Absolutely.
But I feel as though if you just interact with her, there's sort of this like sort of calmer, sort of like maybe even dare I say shyer side to her
Yes.
at the top. Can you understand that?
Yeah.
Because that's actually how she's coming in. But she feels incredibly polite to me. She feels really, really kind. And I feel that really being part of her nature. And I also can feel her wanting to be really helpful to other people as well. So I feel like, like she was very much a team player, very much, and maybe even just a touch of people pleasing. Can you understand that, Tammy, with her?
Absolutely.
I feel also too with her, I want to go back in time. You said that she passed in her 20s? Is that what you had said?
She's in her 30s.
She was in her 30s. Okay, sorry, I was confusing it with the other person, with Lucy earlier. So she was in her 30s, so that part was correct. From before. Let me just feel her here. Would you understand that where you are now is just a world away from what you when you knew her?
Absolutely.
Because she's like, your whole life is different. As she's pointing that out to me, she's like, it's entirely different. And she's like, I'm so happy to have watched your experiences and your growth and your like total different direction that you would have gone. Comparatively, she's talking about the struggle at that time when you would have known her. You felt really kind of like independent on your own, like having to try to make things work. Can you understand that when you knew her? And then she's talking about how the family has grown and how you have grown. And would that make sense to you as well?
Yes.
Would it make sense to... Oh, I don't know what this is. She's giving me something about the relationship that you were in when you knew her potentially being different than what it is, if I'm understanding this correctly, different than what it is now. Is that true?
I don't know about that.
Okay, let me see if I can get her to give this to me differently, because there's something about the change in the relationship that you were in before to now. Would it make sense to you that when you knew her, if you were with the same person, would it make sense to you that she was, or that relationship has changed in, I almost want to say for the better? Like,
I don't know that I was in a relationship at that time.
Okay, and you are in a relationship now, is that correct?
No.
Then what am I freaking picking up on? Let me see here and see what I can try to make sense of this, because I want to make sure I'm giving you what she's giving you. I feel like I need to talk about, she's just talking about change of relationship. So, and this feels like important. It feels like part of what she's wanting to talk about. So let me just see if I can get her to bring that to me differently. Give me 1 second. Would her passing have been, I don't know, like 15-ish years ago, or a little less than that?
A little less than that, yes.
Yeah. Because I'm just having her bring me that. And then she wants to talk about, I don't know why she's making me feel freedom. Freedom. She's talking about the freedom. Okay, hold on. I'm just going to like piece this together because I have no idea what I'm talking about. So she's making me feel this sense of freedom. She's making me feel this sense of you changing as a person. And she's making me feel like you finding, like you where you are now feels so much freer from where you were before.
I can understand that.
I felt that as
I
had felt that as a relationship, but I might have just been wrong about that it's a relationship. Can you understand the sense of freedom that she's bringing up from then and now?
Yeah, I can understand. I can understand where she's going with that.
And then can you also understand, where is that? Hold on. I have no idea what this means, so we're just going to roll with it. She's bringing me to something that says like she's going rickety. There's something about rickety, or it being rickety. There's something rickety. And as I say that, she's making me feel this sort of uncertain sort of feeling of stability, feeling rickety. But let me just see where she's going. That's the first piece. And I feel like she's taking me back in time as I talk about this. She's talking about the rickety feeling of the time period. Would that make any sense to you?
Back then?
Yeah, back then, when you would have known her.
Yes.
Would you understand why she would be bringing up, like she keeps showing me cars, she keeps showing me drive-throughs, and she's showing me like at night. Can you understand that at all?
No. No, I don't understand that.
She's showing me cars, drive-through, and at night. So let me just see where she's going with this. Cars, drive-through, at night. Okay, let me just let the next thing come because I'm sure this is going to land itself at some point. I feel like I need to talk about this feels like a memory. This is what this feels like. It feels like a memory. Would you understand this being true with her, but not necessarily you two together? Because there's this part of me that feels like friend, but not close friend. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Because
Yes,
it almost
that
feels
makes
like work colleague, and almost feels like someone that I see regularly, but we're not necessarily seeing each other all the time. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Only
Yes.
at work. And then she's referring to her and something to do with the driving at night. But I don't know if you know that information.
I don't know that information.
Okay. I'm going to put that aside because I don't want to belabor that if it's not something that you would know. But let me keep working. As I feel her here too, I feel like I want to talk about grandma here. I want to talk about, this lady here, grandma over here. And then I'm just letting there's another gentleman standing next to her. I think that is grandfather that's standing next to grandma. So that must make sense, correct?
Yeah, it makes sense. They always come in together.
Yep, because they're definitely standing there together. And it's funny because she always kind of is like one step ahead of him. And then he's just there, standing there with him. Let me just keep going here. I don't know what that is. Andrea. A-N-D. I don't know what that is, so I'm going to just put it over there. As I'm feeling them here, I'm going to just offer to them what do they want to bring for you, or if there's anything that they want to say specifically to you. Well, I know this is kind of a general thing, but she definitely makes me feel this sense of pride. So I'm going to start there. She makes me feel this sense of pride. Can you understand? Would you be able to make sense of caring for people or caring for someone right now? Like,
Yes.
I feel as if I'm having to care for, and I wanted to say nurse is what I wanted to say. Would that make sense with you right now? Not necessarily that you...
I'm an occupational therapist.
You're an occupational therapist, okay.
Yeah.
Because she's talking about this, and that's where the pride comes in, is the work that you're working on with her, with them. And the other thing that she's making me feel as I'm talking about this, hold on, I'm just letting it shift. She's referring to the graduation that you would have had, she wouldn't have been able to be there for. Can you understand that?
Yeah.
Because I feel as though she's like, I was there and I was cheering and I was clapping for you, is what I need to say. Letting her bring the next thing. She's talking about a small sort of, I think this is beige, but I don't generally trust the pictures. A beige dog. Can you understand this?
Yes.
Small beige dog. And I feel as if I need to talk about, well, she points to presently, but I also feel one in spirit. Can you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. Let me just see where she's going next. Let's keep going. Would there be something that sounds like rock connected here with you? Part of me wants to make that a place.
Yeah, that's where I live. That's part of the name of the town.
It's not like Rock Field, is it?
No, it's Round Rock.
Round Rock. Okay, perfect. I didn't feel the field part was right, which is why I only said rock, but I did hear Rock Field, so I'm glad that I checked in with you. So that's the name of the place you're in. That's obviously her way of just kind of validating that she's aware, and to just show that it's her, that she is seeing you and where you are. Can you also understand here from her? She's coming around to give you a big hug, a big kiss, and like give you that sense of security and that comfort, and makes me feel like I want to say, um, you're not alone. I don't know why she's saying you're not alone, because I don't feel like you're alone, but I feel like she wants to say, like, there's change or there's growth in that area. Does that make any sense to you?
Yeah.
She's making me also feel here too. She's pointing to one child. I think
Yes.
this is a boy. Does that make sense
Yes.
to you?
Yeah, absolutely.
And this is your child, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because she wants to give him a hug and she wants to give
Okay.
him a big kiss. But I feel as though he would have been born after she was gone. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So he would have never known
Yeah.
her. And
Yeah.
she's making me feel like I've been there anyway. I've been there around him. Would there be, ooh, is this something with a T? No, I don't know what that is, so I'm not going to give that. Ooh, she's giving me a stronger sensation. I feel like I need to pick him up. I feel like I need to pick him up, and I feel like I need to like I just almost feel like excited for him, almost like I'm picking him up for like joy and like excitement. And I also feel like, as I talk about him, his energy feeling very excited or very excitable right now. Can you understand why he would be experiencing that? I almost feel like she's picking him up to cheer for him. Like, this is the way it feels. It feels like she's literally picking him up. But he feels older than you can carry him, is the feeling.
Yeah, he's a senior in high school this year.
She just feels like she's really excited and cheering for him. And she's like picking him up, almost like, you're doing it. You're doing it. Yay. But can you understand he's not clear where he wants to go after school?
Yes.
It feels very kind of vague, because there's like a torn between going to college or going to like a trade or something like that. Does that make sense?
Kind of, yeah.
Because I just feel like I'm pulled between these different options and I don't know where I'm going, is what it says, what it feels like. I feel this strong sense of pride coming from grandma to your son. He's done well. Like, she feels like he's done well. She's making me feel like he's a good kid. He's a good kid. Can you understand that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he is a good kid.
And like, he's very connected to you. Like, it feels like it's like you two versus the world vibe. Can you understand that?
Yes. Although sometimes it doesn't feel like that.
Yeah. There's just this feeling of like the coming together. There's something about the whole parenting thing that feels challenging throughout like the years of this. He's a good kid, but there's some part of it that feels like the struggle of being a parent. Can you understand that?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's almost like this feeling of not knowing, not always having the answer, or feeling like maybe you're not always doing it right? Like, there's almost this feeling of like you put a pressure on yourself around that. Can you understand that?
Yes.
But you're doing a good job. That's what it feels like. It does feel like you're doing a good job, because you have a really, really good kid. And this is the thing that she's making me aware of. Would you understand the middle name connection? I think this is between him and a family name.
It is, absolutely.
Yeah, the middle name connection between him and a family name. To remember by is what I want to say. Which is very kind. I wish I could give you the name, but you know the name, and that's what's important.
I do.
So I want to highlight that. And then the other thing that I can feel, just as I'm kind of withdrawing here, I just want you to know she's very, very involved. She's always keeping a close eye, because she just gave me like the image of like a magnifying glass on you, because there's this feeling
I'm
of
not surprised.
Yeah, there's this feeling of like making sure things are going well for you, making sure things are right for you. She wants to be very involved in that. And she's like, you can talk to me. You can talk to me. You can always tell me anything that you need to tell me. You can do that, and I will listen, and I will do my best. Like, that's the feeling that I get from her.
And I always do.
Beautiful.
And I always acknowledge the signs.
Beautiful. Okay, great.
I get her signs.
Fabulous, because that's clearly her way of saying, trying to acknowledge that and just being there with that. She's just feels so connected, to
Yeah.
you. And would it also make sense that there's almost this feeling like relationship with grandma was a lot easier than relationship with mom?
Absolutely.
Because it almost feels like grandma feels like the mother figure that
Yes.
I needed. And
Yes.
and I feel that I need to say either young adulthood or like late teens feel important around this. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Um,
hmm
yeah. And then I also need to say, there's this feeling of trying her best with the relationship to your mom, because that feels complicated too for me. Can you understand that? The
Yeah.
complications with that?
hmm
So sometimes mental health and addiction can feel the same to me. Would that be at all connected here?
Say that again.
Would mental health or addiction make sense here? Because
Mental health,
sometimes
yes.
that feels the same to me.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because I can feel that there, and this would be around mom and kind of like dealing with that relationship.
Yes.
Because she's making me aware of that, and she's wanting to acknowledge the effort that you've put in around your work around that. Can you understand that?
Yes.
Because she's saying that you did a lot. Would it make sense that your son's father is more involved, like loosely involved in your guys' lives?
Very loosely involved. He's not involved at
Okay, great, perfect. Because I was trying to kind of be gentle around that, but it feels to me it's like there is this, sort of separation there, and you're doing everything that you can to make all of this work with this relationship. And honestly, I'm glad that I kind of said that, because I feel this feeling of like your grandma being like, yeah, that wasn't he wasn't really worth the effort, is the feeling that I get here.
Yeah.
And so I can feel that sort of she's happy you're where you are, is the feeling that I get here.
Yeah.
Would it make sense that the person that you knew, the gal that was in her, what is that? Would it make sense that the gal that the other gal that was here, the younger one, that I'm trying to make this make sense as I'm feeling it, but would it make sense that she would have known you after you and your partner had already split?
Yes.
Okay. And kind of seeing you kind of do it on your own and that sort of thing.
Yes.
And that's where I feel like that sort of rickety feeling was coming from earlier.
Yes. And that's what I was thinking that she was talking about, that I'm in a much better position than I was.
Yeah. And that's
because
what
she passed after my son was born. He was very young when she passed.
Perfect. Because that's what she's kind of helping me re-understand, because I wasn't quite getting it before. And so I can feel that's what she's referring to when she's talking about that change in the what felt like relationship, because I feel like those two things were so closely related, and she would have known something of that. And so she's just like really applauding you and just being like, look how far you've come. You should be so proud of yourself. That I can feel there. I can feel it lightening a little bit there, Tammy. So I'm going to use that as a means of kind of acknowledging that they're kind of stepping back.
Much.
I hope that was helpful. I hope that
it was beautiful.
Good. You got something out of it. I think at the beginning I was a little bit reachy, and then as I kind of relaxed back into it, then I felt like I got better flow. But I appreciate you taking the information. If there's any kind of feedback that you want to give, you're welcome to give that, but you don't have to also if you don't want to.
Yeah. And my friend was a speech therapist that I worked with at a clinic. She was a beautiful human being. She worked with kids with autism. She was just wonderful. Amazing. Her name was Amy.
Oh, I love this. That's amazing. She felt wonderful. She felt just like when she was coming in, there was just such a sweetness, there's such a kindness that I was really feeling strongly there as she was coming in. So beautiful. And then your grandma feels amazing. Your grandma feels
she is.
Yeah.
She's amazing. And I see Dana down in the comments. I work with Dana.
Oh, amazing.
Doing mediumships. And my grandmother comes in every time and does readings. And it's just, every time she just amazes me.
Oh, so, I love that.
I just love it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I found the cool one was the Pert thing. Because I was like, there's this name and it's like Pert. Yeah. And apparently it's Pert shampoo.
When you said Pert, I was like, oh my God, that's the shampoo she used to use. So yeah.
I don't even know what Pert is. Like that was the sound I heard. So I love that there was, a unique way for her to kind of acknowledge that it's her.
Yeah.
So I think it's amazing. So thank you so much, Tammy, for being such a great sitter and working with me there.
Thank you so much. Can you drop me down?
I can definitely do that. Awesome. Thanks, Tammy.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Hello there from California. I'm also in California. That is so funny. Like, what the heck? Like, why on earth would that be? I'm too young for Pert. Must be. I'm not that young, Dana. I'm like 2 minutes behind you. Okay. That's not to say that you're not young, Dana. Okay. That's not to say that. Okay, you're beautiful and you're worth it. Yeah, I guess like Pert Plus. That's so funny, the shampoo. Oh my God. What a funny thing. So what's really interesting about that reading is I could really feel tension at the top of my reading. Like I could feel myself, I could feel her strongly, but I could also feel myself kind of getting ahead of it a little bit in the beginning. And then there was a point where I was just kind of like, okay, my man, you're going to have to just like dial it back and just soften into the energy. And when I felt myself soften into the energy, that's when it started to turn into yes, right? And that came because there was tension, right? And that's the thing that we as medium always have to be aware of is when is there tension in my work? When is there tension in me starting to try? Because clearly there's some part of me that was like, oh, I want to get good information. I want to get specific. I want to do that. And then if you find that you're doing that, you're going to notice that that's going to be the thing that keeps you from being able to get those specifics and those kinds of things. So it's really, really important to have awareness when you're doing that so that you can go the other direction, so that you can start to soften. And you saw that once I softened, it started working, which is at least better anyway. And she was able to bring through more information. The other thing that was cool about that reading too was so sweet of Lucy to come up and see if this could fit for her. But I didn't feel the power shift when I heard her voice. And that tells me that I'm with the right person, right? So you have to feel the power react to the person's voice. If it doesn't do that, then you're probably not with the right person. Secondly, when you are feeling the power, as soon as I heard from Tammy, the power started to shift and change. And actually, I should have gone with Tammy from the top because I felt drawn to Tammy. I felt that little piece of feeling within me that's like, hey, it's probably Tammy. But, I didn't listen to that. So there's another example of me not just following. And that's the key. You got to follow what's coming to you. You can't try to control it. The more you try to control it, the more you try to think your way through or do something like that, the less that you're going to receive. And that's what we ended up experiencing. But once we found the right person, all the things that I was giving connected, was landing, and the power responded. Cool, there's your person, right? You've got to go with what the power does. It's not about what you think. It's not about wanting to make it fit. You have to follow the energy. And that's what we did. So for my students, because I know I get a lot of my students that are watching, that's what you have to watch out for, right? That part of you that wants to kind of get ahead of the energy. And I can also say I haven't been sitting as much, and I can feel the difference, right? When I haven't been sitting as consistently, because I had my asthma exacerbation and then, kind of recovering from that and all these different things. I haven't made the time, and then like getting caught up in a bunch of work stuff. I haven't made the time to sit as much, and I can feel that, like it's getting thinner. I'm getting to that point where I'm like, ooh, it's starting to feel a little bit thinner, less of a flow, less of a clarity. So that's myself to just like point out and go, okay, this is the moment you need to start sitting again. that way, much more consistently. So I'm going to do an experiment. I'm going to sit every single day starting tomorrow and till next time that we see each other. I'm going to see, does the reading improve? Does the strength improve? Does the clarity improve? Does all of those things improve? And then that way you guys can all watch the experiment and be like, okay, Michael got a little bit more challenging reading today for himself. Not Tammy. Tammy was lovely, but myself felt that little bit of a reach. And we'll see if next week it's a little bit more flowy. It's a little bit more easy. It's a little bit more just moving and grooving, which is what we want to have happen. So yeah, if you're not following me, give me a follow so that we can do more readings next week. I'm going to jump on. I sit for 30 minutes-ish. Could be longer, but definitely at least 30 minutes. But I will jump on next week, and then we will see kind of what happens. So that'll be our thing. So thank you to everybody for being here, everybody who was joining the live, participating, asking your questions. You guys asked some great questions today. Absolutely loved it. And we're going to experiment again next week. If you want to do Psychism, there's still time to join Psychism 1. You can do that at oakbridgeinstitute.org. It's a great class. You will learn scrying. You will learn how to connect. You use tools. You will learn how to do it without tools, which is amazing. So we just started. So if you want to join that, you can. I'll stay on just for a couple more minutes, just in case you guys want to ask any questions. If you have anything that you want to, do, that would be awesome. So very good. Very good. You guys can ask anything that you want to ask. If you want to ask things about the reading, how it felt, educational things, if you want to ask about, anything. What's the best part about Psychism? The best part about Psychism is taking that feeling of like, I wish that I knew how to connect into this other awareness. And then by the end of 22 weeks, being able to be like, I freaking know how to connect into this other awareness. And I have access to so much more information, so much more ability to perceive things that I never thought I'd be able to. And the one thing that people always say in that class is how much they've surprised themselves throughout that course, that they were like, I didn't even know that was possible for me. I thought that was something that I had to, I thought that was something that was only reserved for certain people. And instead, they took the guesswork out of it. And that's the thing that Oak Bridge always tries to do, is we try to, you can take all the classes, you can read all the books, you can do all the things. But if you're not being taught properly from the beginning, you're going to stay confused. You're going to stay unclear. You're going to stay in a place of like, maybe I have something, maybe I don't. And I think what Oak Bridge does well is that it takes you to, I know what I'm doing. I know how to connect to spirit. I know how to connect to my intuition. I know how to get psychic information. I know how to use cards. I know how to use these other things. And so if you're the type of person that's looking to move from maybe this is this, I don't know, and you have to go to other people to figure that out, Oak Bridge is the way to help you have certainty in what you're getting. And if you're having moments where it doesn't feel certain, you know exactly how to rebound from it. My reading today was a great example where there was tension, where there was trying, and then I went, I'm acknowledging that that's happening, and then I switched gears, and then it started landing. Boom, 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 boom. Instead of the trying, the reaching, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So really, really, really important. Go in a sitting. The 30 minutes starts the minute you start, or is there a beginning exercise? You can just start sitting in the power. You don't have to do anything else. Will you be teaching trance soon? Yes. That one's going to come probably after the healing course. So I'm still sort of waiting for the spirit to give me a clearer direction of exactly how I want to teach that course. So yeah. Does your course also teach mediumship? Yes, we teach mediumship through what's called the Foundation series, and then that opens up to expansion, advancing, fellowship. It's a whole track that takes you from not knowing how to do anything into how to be certain and know how to connect with the Spirit repeatedly and accurately. So if you are wanting to do that, the next time you can take the Foundations course, which is the starting point for mediumship specifically, is in January. Is telekinesis a real thing? We don't teach telekinesis. Is it a real thing? I think so. But I want to be clear, you're talking about moving objects or doing something with your mind. There is documented evidence to support the idea of telekinesis. So it is definitely a real thing. That's not something that we teach, though. I would love to learn it, though, so that I could teach it, but yeah. How can I sit in the power without getting too relaxed? I always end up taking a nap. Well, number one, make sure you're getting enough sleep. Number two, do it after you've, like maybe after a little bit after you've woken up, had your coffee or tea in the morning. That will help you to stay more connected and not fall asleep. So about when you do it matters. So that is important. By the way, if you are in our Foundations 1 at all, Foundations 1 is, we have a great group of students. So thank you so much. If you are in there and you're here, you are a great group of students. I love that you guys are connecting, that you are, creating community amongst yourselves. Really, really important part. We had a ton of people today from the earlier class, the earlier live, which was the Q&A for Oak Bridge, and there was great questions. Loved it. Those are the most people we've ever had live in that circle, in that session. So that was really cool. How do you use your psychism in your everyday life outside of readings? Well, number one, I know who's calling me like all the time. Like this has happened so many times in the last couple of days where I get a call, I know exactly who it is, or I'm expecting a call and I get the moment that that's happening. That's happened so many times. And actually, even with Andrea today, I thought of Andrea about 10 seconds before I received a text from Andrea, which was pretty cool. And that's been happening constantly. So that's one thing, is like kind of being in a flow where you sort of know what's going to happen a few moments before it actually does, which is always a cool thing. Another way that we use psychism in our day-to-day life is actually how we interact with people that we know and people that we love, and being able to sense and feel what's going on with them, what's happening with them, not in an intrusive sort of digging sort of way, but having a greater sense of awareness of the energy, the vibe, the connection between relationships, and knowing when something's right, when something's wrong, when something's going on with that person. So that's another way. Another way that you can use your psychism in your day-to-day life would be just getting guidance for yourself, right? Getting guidance and feeling the pull when you're supposed to act, when you're supposed to wait, when you're supposed to make a move, right? Those are the things that help you, and you don't even think about it anymore. It just starts happening, and you just learn, this is when I'm supposed to move. This is when I'm supposed to move with the moment versus when I'm just allowing something to happen. I have a mobile. I ask my angels to move. Do you think it's my mind willing it to move rather than them? That's actually a good question. I don't know how much is it moving and how often does it happen? Do you have any meditations for the public? I do, yes. On my website, mediummichaelmayo.com, you can get the Sitting in the Power meditation, a grounding meditation, connecting with your guides meditation. There's several that you can pick up there. I'm excited to get to know everyone better. We really have such a good group. Yes, for sure. You guys really do. We feel really excited about this group, actually. What are the different levels of trance? So it's a spectrum. So it goes from light, medium, and deep. And within each of those, there is light, medium, light, medium, light, medium. And so it goes into deep eventually. So all of those things are there. When you say a mobile, are you referring to what? Like your phone? Is that referring to like a walker? Like what exactly is a mobile? That can be a blessing and a curse. No, blissfully unaware for me. You know what? Honestly, that's real. That's real. I do like a blissfully unaware moment. Crazy husband here. Can you yell their names out of nowhere a lot of times to talk to them, or is that crazy? You don't even have to yell it. You can just think about them, and they'll start to come close. Oh, the little spinny thing. Okay. I mean, you can ask them to move in an odd way. Ask it to move in an odd way. So ask it to maybe move the little pieces, in a way that maybe is unexpected or wouldn't move naturally. That is one. That is one way that you can do that. And then that way, if it does that, well, then there's no question. Or you can move it. I mean, you can practice that. You can tell them not to do it, and you just do it with your own awareness. And you can ask them to do it themselves, which is another option. Okay, everybody, we're going to leave it there because I have to go make dinner at 9 o'clock at night. Even though I wanted to be done earlier, I just went longer in a live, so that's cool. Not that much longer though, only like 2 hour and 30 maybe, or 2 hour, 30 minutes longer than I normally would have. But thank you everybody for being here. I hope that you enjoyed the live today. Hopefully it was educational for you. We're going to do the experiment. I'm going to sit every day this week. We're going to see how my readings change next week. And we will go from there. But thank you so much for joining us. If you're not following me, do give a follow so you can see the results of next week's experiment. But we appreciate you being here, and I'll see you tomorrow, which will be great. And I just want to say thank you all for being here. It was a pleasure and a joy, and you guys are wonderful. So let's see you next week at 2 o'clock and at 7-ish is usually when I get on, 7 to 7:30. Thanks, everybody.